Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Firdose, welcome to the show. Today's whole daily show is going to be about the press, the media, and what the experience been at the SA20. So I'd like to ask you first, from a journalist perspective, being in the media house, because we're seeing a different type of vibe in the media houses than we see at normal games.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Khalid, just to start with, we've all been pretty down, pretty depressed, actually. Those of us waking up at 1 a.m. to watch what happened in Australia. And the mood in South African cricket really hasn't been good. And I think this week we've seen that change. It's been fabulous to come and see crowds, to see thousands and thousands of people coming to watch cricket. It tells us people still care about this game. And in our little space, we've had something positive to write about for a change, which is really nice. I've really enjoyed the freedom that we've had to talk to different players, to interact with the coaching staff, and just to almost get a sense and some themes that we've been writing about. So one of the very interesting things for me is this idea that you name 13, and then you toss and you whittle it down to 11. Because you can then change depending on conditions. Might there be dew? Will you bat under lights? And I think it's a brilliant innovation. I hope it works. I hope that international cricket takes it on. it meant South Africa could have won the Manchester Test match when they realized they shouldn't have picked a second spinner, right? Yes. So I really enjoyed it. I think we needed this. We really, really needed it.
And covering the tournament so far, seeing the fans coming to the stadiums, what do you think that SA20 will do for South African cricket as a brand, South African cricket going forward for the development of our sport?
Sure, I think it's going to do so much. I've been here at Newlands and then in Bulan Park in Paarl, both packed, people very excited, people wearing the team's colours, which, they're new teams. We don't know who these people are. Watching the vibe in Durban was phenomenal from everything I've heard. Same at St. George's, Supersport Park, a sellout. So people care, people want to be part of this tournament. I think for South African cricket, we're going to see our players develop. We've already seen some great performances. Dewald Brevis did an excellent, obviously one game wasn't so good and one game was so good. We're also seeing, yesterday I got from Evan Jones from the Paarl Royals, him interacting with a lungi and what that's doing for him, to get an international bowler saying to him, here's your line, here's your length, do this, don't do that, I'm here for you, patting him on the shoulder. He loved it. That's what we want. The IPL was so successful because you got guys like MS Dhoni mixing with guys who had never played at an elite level before. That's what we need in this country. I think Sisanda Magala is going to be one of the absolute stars. I know that team's not doing so well, but here's a guy that can't pass a fitness test to get into the national side, and he's going to knock the lights out in this tournament, and we're going to have to ask some serious questions of our national setup.
So I've got to ask you, from the games that you have seen so far, who are the top players or top 3 performances that you've seen in the SA20 so far, live?
Live, okay, so I've only got 2 or 3 games to choose from. I really enjoyed Jofra Archer's opening over. I thought that, for a guy that hadn't played competitive cricket for over a year, that was bang on. He got the ball to move, he took a wicket with the third ball, he bowled a couple of good short ones, the gas was up, he's been phenomenal, I really enjoyed that. I like the Ryan Rickelton-Dewald Brevis partnership in that match as well. And Ryan Rickelton's also an interesting one, right? Because he's batting with an ankle this big. Also can't get into the national side. So there's another one to talk about. And then I really thought Lungi Ngidi's performance, blowing the Joburg Super Kings away, the Paarl guys bowled them out for 81. Lungi wasn't the best performer in terms of wickets, but he set the tone. He looked like he wanted to be there. We're seeing the same thing with Kagiso Rabada here today. He had 2 guys who got absolutely thrashed in Australia. They're smiling, they're bowling well, and that's very, very important.
Excellent, Firdose. I'm looking forward to the rest of the tournament. I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, absolutely, I am. And also, please remember that the Women's Under-19 T20 World Cup is happening at the same time, followed by the Women's World Cup. So we're looking forward to some excellent performances. You know, this is the year for women's cricket, I really think. Yeah. And it's very important that we also pay attention to that.
Of course. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I'm here with a new debutant on Cricket Fanatics magazine. I'm here with James. James, just introduce yourself to the fans and tell them your role at the stadium.
Thanks, Khalid. Yeah, James King. I'm with the Western Province Cricket Media Team. So we do very much the liaison with all the media here in the Western Cape. We also produce all the content for Western Province. At the moment here with the MI team, we're doing all the content for the stadium, Newlands Stadium. We not for the players, obviously, from that point of view. It's been really exciting working also coordinating the media centre here to our right, and just working with the media that are coming through here and getting to know the guys. So it's been really exciting.
I think that was really great that we saw a lot of the top tier South African journalists come and support this competition. It wasn't like that at the MSL, actually, to be 100% honest with you. But talking about this particular game and this particular tournament, it's your first massive tournament that you're actually covering. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it's been really good. I think the thing is that it's really around networking and getting to know who the guys are, and been really a privilege working with, as you say, with all the journos that have come in, and with the MI team, as they've got a team on the ground here, and a few of the guys always here from South Africa as well, which is really good. And it's just such a big branding experience, and there's a lot going for it from that point of view, and a lot of excitement around, and that's what we're seeing with the journalists as well, that they something new, something different. Haven't seen the press box here or media centre here this full for a long time, and that's really exciting. So as much as you've got the crowds outside here, which is fantastic to have, you've got also tons of journalists in here covering the matches, and people we haven't seen, that are here now for essentially what's domestic cricket, which we haven't had for quite a while.
So you might recognize James's voice. He's been on a lot of commentary. So that's where we first met him, actually. So his knowledge on cricket is absolutely amazing. So I want to ask you, not only from the games that you've watched live at Newlands, around the SA20, what are some of the performances that stood out for you in this tournament?
I think it's been very interesting so far. You've got a couple of from a batting point of view particularly, you've got a couple of the young South African stars that have come through really well. And I think that's what's been good. I mean, yes, you've had some great performances from, today we saw Will Jacks with that incredible 92 off 46 balls, I think it was. But you've seen they're calling him the Don, Donovan Ferreira coming through. And these are guys that have been, up and coming, and that I know from my chats with guys around the country and the commentary over the last 2 or 3 years or so, that some of these players have been identified and said, this guy's really good, and this guy's coming up, and so the players like Tristan Stubbs and Donovan Ferreira, Dewalt Brevis obviously, who just really burst onto the scene, Ryan Rickleton, who in the partnership here with particularly, we see the opening partnership left-right hand combination for MI looking really good, and when they come off, it's fantastic to watch, and it's been good. 2 out of 3 matches so far, that opening partnership's been really good for the MI team, and I think it's showing that the people that have been identified as the young talent coming through for South Africa, they are starting to come through, are starting to shine. When given the opportunity, I think you're going to see it. You also got some of the old campaigners, George will probably not be too happy about that. But, George Linder performing really well. Yeah. I think local knowledge helps a lot, particularly, I know here in Cape Town particularly, it does make a difference. Great to see KG today really running in and hitting his spots on the pitch. And this wicket here hasn't played easily this season, and so that learning very important for the guys.
So lastly, this tournament has been called like the saviour of South African cricket already. Do you believe in those sentiments?
Well, I do believe it's a fantastic tournament, make no mistake. I think what is important is how do we how do we make it work for us from a South African point of view, and really showcase South African cricket. Not only internationally, obviously, but locally is the most important thing. So how do you get that following, and how does that following filter through into the provinces that we now have, the affiliates, whoever you might call them? So we've got 16 teams that are playing in our local competitions across 2 divisions. How does this translate then into those, and how do we then get the people back, into the ground? So it's amazing to see, and the buzz here is just fantastic, and that's that's what we want to see. We see that at Test matches here at New Year time. We did see it. We used to see it in T20 cricket here, and often in the List A games, 50 overs. So how do you get that back? If this is a catalyst to do that, if we can get the brand out there, and people can follow a brand, follow something, and that translates into provincial cricket, that's what we really want.
Excellent. James, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I hope we get you back on again.
Thank you so much, Khalid. It's really great. It's a privilege to be here, and always you guys are massively supportive of local cricket. And I think, as I said to you before, we really appreciate that, because it's about getting the people back to the game and giving as much exposure as we can to the local cricketers, so that people know who they are. They're heroes. I mean, I worked with the guys now probably a month or so, and in the commentary for a little bit longer, but just chatting to these young men and young women that play cricket, and they put such a lot into it every single day. And you see the work that goes on behind the scenes. I mean, you see it, but so many people don't see it. It's such a privilege to be working with them, and just to see the huge love they have for the game, and that's something that, as I say, you and your team put a lot of work into trying to get that out there, and we really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Hey guys, I'm here with
Vishka and Priyanka.
Matt.
Josh.
Sam. Nanele.
So about this vibe, because that's the most important thing to us as fans.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts about the vibe at the stadium so
Oh,
far?
it's so amazing. I actually love the overall vibe. It's chill, but then it also has like a little bit of a turn up.
Everyone has a really amazing energy, and the fans are here for the support, and so are we. So
Yeah, it's great. The vibe's fantastic. Great atmosphere here. It's good to see the stadium's nice and full, and people seem to be having a good time. Yeah.
I mean, it's very good. It's very exciting. I feel like Cape Town's doing really well in Joburg. It's not their day. They can go walk home now.
Your second game, does it live up to the expectations from the previous game?
I think last night was a lot more tense. Obviously there was a lot more runs put on the board compared to right now. I think it's going to be a quick game. Yeah.
So, in regards to players, who are some of the players that you're excited to see?
Duplessis as well.
Yeah. Yes, same. Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else?
No, I think that's about it.
Karen as well. Karen.
Yeah. Maybe Karen as well.
Okay.
I think Dewald Previs. I think he's quite a special talent. He looks like he's going to be a really, really good talent for the years to come.
Last night, Ollie Stone, you got 4 wickets. You got put us in the game. Yeah.
Who are some of the players that you're looking forward to see?
I mean, right now it's probably like Wabada.
Yeah, it's your debut on Cricket Fanatics magazine.
It is. I love cricket so much. Cricket, I feel like, is a brilliant sport. It requires individual brilliancy. People think it's a team sport, but it's not. People need to be individually great. So that's why I'm here. I know a couple of people that are quite great in cricket, and also I'm here because my brother works for one of the teams.
From face to radio to face of Newlands.
What an opening line. Can we clap as we look to camera? Amazing.
I worked on that hard.
I know, Khalid. I said I know, but I'm joking. How are you?
No, I'm good on you.
Good. Thank you for having me on your wonderful podcast video series. I love your work. You know that whenever I see you, I say what a fan I am. I think you're one of the hardest working guys in the business. I'm just prefacing the interview with that. Like, just go check the content bank. It's amazing. Well done. Can we just clap for you and your team?
Thanks, man.
I'm being legit. No, well done, bro.
But Dalin, this tournament is incredible. You
Amazing.
obviously were also announcing at MSL before. Can you compare the two? Like, what is the differences between the two? Is this much more controlling? Is this much more difficult for you than the previous tournament?
First up, I just think what's been fantastic is the build-up to the Betway SA20, the way in which non-cricket fans were exposed to the tournament. Because we're cricket lovers, so we're always going to have a finger on the pulse of this is where we go, this is where we're going to go, this is where we're going to watch, these are the games to look out for. But the way in which the social media strategy, even from radio to TV to all online platforms, were in people's faces in a good way and also in a creative way, where it wasn't just content. It was different content of the different 6 franchises of the league, so people were aware. The build up to it, the auction, it was exciting. Yeah, I mean, even you just throw money at it in terms of you spending, is it about 34 million per team that they had? You know what I mean? So even if you're a non-cricketing person, you're like, what? Tristan Stubbs got bought for how much? So automatically, if you didn't know who Tristan Stubbs was at the time, you go, who is this guy? Tom Ferreira, an amazing story. So all of these things, Dewald Brevis coming in, the players we had in the mother city at my Cape Town at the start, all the teams who had the initial players just going, this is great for the sport. So before it even launched, I think the awareness and the build-up to was amazing. It had a feeling for me like, you know, with the Sevens, when you have non-rugby fans going to Cape Town Stadium to go watch rugby, I was like, that's amazing. Because once we get the buy-in from the non-cricketer to come to the field, you win. Because the cricketers, we fall in love because we love the sport. But when you have the non-cricketing people come, that means if we 2 brasse, 4 more of our brasse will come. So they're like, oh wait, it's 3.5 hours, there's DJ, there's like entertainment, there's a halftime show, maybe there's artists at the start. I mean, we were spoiled the opening ceremony, Shoma Josie, along with Master KG. That's like, that youngster, that's massive exports, bruh. Jimmy Nevers, good lucks there. So, and just understanding the entertainment part of things. So from a build up to an execution, I think it's been great. I also think it's very difficult to compare the 2 leagues just in terms of finances, players that were brought on, and the exposure to more players because of more finances, but also just having the cities on board. I think the respective franchises have done well to get their local cities behind their teams. Case in point, look, I'm from Cape Town, so I'll use my Cape Town as an example. What's been fantastic is walking into Newlands. I mean, we grew up in this space. When I say we grew up, as I look into camera, anyone who played junior provincials or came through the provincial system, or if you're fortunate enough to play for a club, they say, listen, there's a New Year's test, there's a test match happening, we need bowlers to come bowl to the Proteas, or we need bowlers to come bowl to the Cobras at the time, now VP Blitz, etc. So these VP Blitz, sure, good for them getting older. He asked me what, I'm just talking here. But from that perspective, so walking in the fan experience, mind blown. Like from the branding outside to seeing the players on the boards coming in, just having the awareness. So again, if you're a cricket person, you know that's that person. If you're not, you go, now I know this is a face to look out for. And then once performances start kicking in, the machine will tick for itself. So just the overall, I think feel like a nice refresh button was pressed, and South Africa also pressed a nice refresh button, because we haven't had test cricket, we haven't had a Newlands test in forever. We've got a city that loves cricket. We haven't had matches here since forever. I would love to see these numbers for our local franchise teams. That's a dream, but I think this will turn over, because we've got ICC T20 Women's World Cup as well. ICC Women's Under 19 World Cup is happening. So there's a lot of cricket in South Africa, and regardless of whether or not you're on the fence, we are a cricket-loving nation. We've got talent through and through. We've got 3 massive tournaments happening within the period of 6 months. Like, stop scalling, just come to the stadium, stop getting involved in politics, just come to the games. Let the people who deal with politics, and come have a look at time, man.
And based on, because you have a beautiful view of the fans, etc. on that stage, based on the fan reactions, who do you think they took the most to at the stadium?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be biased, and not even biased. I'm going to be biased with numbers. the way Dewald Brevis played in that first match. What was great, I was reading this comment thread, it was an uncle. I love a comment section to see who's plat escaping first, right? And it was an uncle, and he said, I've never watched Dewald Brevis bat before, and I heard all this hype about him. Never saw him on TV, never saw him in person, and I just saw all these numbers and all this hype about this young superstar. And then I saw him bat at Newlands in my Cape Town's first game. Put the point there and go, that's great. Because one, our people can finally watch our young superstars. They can finally watch our Proteas in action. When last has all of this happened? But with the amount of hype, rightfully so, that's been going up around Devils, come first innings, my genade, murdering you, oh my word. Wow, just wow, what a talent. What a talent. He blew all of us away, and it was such a great intro to South Africa. And I say this because, I mean, we've been following him playing domestically in the few games that he has been playing, also with the SA20 side. But with the people who haven't been following, they've just heard the hype. Yes. And now you see number 17 come and murdering from the start. Him and Rickleton, like gun opening pair. And Newlands is taken to them like amazingly. They also love the captain, Rashid Khan. Yeah, every time he comes on, it's great to see him get love. That, for me, that's always great to see when there's love in the room. Today's match, yes, I'm so glad I got to see Salam Kyle, man. This is the thing, I'm a cricket person, so when I'm seeing these guys live, I get very excited about it. The England boys also, coming in, Ollie Stone, that boy can bowl, man. Yo, he's quick, coming in and going stocker here. We're gonna bowl stocker, and this is the call of duty for today. But our local man, I mean, how lekker is it to see George Linde freeing his arms, those levers, and he's bowling well. Oh, brah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So for me, this mixture of locals and internationals is very good, and it's only gonna get bigger and better. And I know it's very biased because I only spoke about my Cape Town, but I am biased, and I think that's good about the tournament. Be biased for your hometown. There's nothing wrong if you're a cricket lover to love cricket, but be biased for your hometown, because that's going to allow for that traditional rivalry to happen. And that's what we had with Derby Day, Paul Royals, my Cape Town. We know the story. Must still happen in Paul, but be biased, because that allows us, if it's a Bull Stormers game, for you to wear a Stormers jersey. Do you know what I mean? And that's the culture that I think that a lot of the teams would like to develop. So come the second season, there's more people in my Cape Town sweaters, there's more people in their home teams here, there's more people traveling. You know what I mean? There's 33 games over over a month, right? It's almost 6 weeks, I think. It was 6 teams in the tournament. But with that, it's like when the World Cup was here. Remember when you could go from PE, then you have a Cape Town game. Some people did those legs. So I definitely see that happening in future. The more people start getting involved, what I'd like to see, fingers crossed, I don't know, maybe there's a couple of franchises added in future. Do you know what I mean? Talent pool, bigger depth. We know South African players are knocking on the door all the time, and they deserve this access and exposure. And to play in front of a full crowd, man, like just listen to the guys' press conferences. They were saying like we haven't played, either we haven't played at Newlands, haven't played in front of a full crowd here yet. So that was great.
You mentioned Rashid Khan. I was always hoping he'd pull out Imran Tahir, find him a nice Cape Town Messi, and maybe he settled down to become South African.
Rashid, if you're listening, we are more than open to that. We've got connections and contacts, and we can make it work. I love that. Yes, South African woman. Shout out to you.
Just lastly, a message to the fans.
First of all, I'm sorry for talking a lot and for talking long. I do love cricket a lot, but the message is, come watch a game. Before you judge anything about the tournament, about cricket in South Africa, come watch a game. You're going to have a draw, bring your friends, bring your family. You're going to have such a fantastic time. It's 5 hours out of your day. That is a great start to the year. Plus, I'm saying this, plus, there was the yellow specials for tickets. You know how many people are egging me? Because I'm involved on match days as MC.
Even the cameraman shaking his head.
Man is messaging me, my bro, can you couple tickets? I'm like, hey, there was 20 Rand tickets, man. There was 50 Rand tickets. There was different prices for everyone to have access. And again, that's a great note from the tournament where they said there's a lead period. We're going to give everyone a chance that they can't say, yo, the tickets are expensive. Everyone had a legit human chance to go, this is affordable. You can come through. So pull in, come have a liquor Joel, and you won't regret it, man. It's great to have local cricket back in South Africa with international flavor.
And remember to check Cricket Fanatics for competitions. We're running competitions to give away tickets too. So please check it out. Thanks a lot, Dylan. That was excellent.
Cricket Fanatics, I appreciate you. And amazing. Must you sign off? Do we do our own sign off?
Yeah.
Okay. Say thanks for radio.
Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back, cause damn I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts.